Hello and welcome back to Faxing. In today's video, we present to you the supposedly true horror story of Dear David. Adam Ellis is an illustrator and writer from New York who previously worked for BuzzFeed. He claimed a lot of attention on Twitter in 2017 when he posted, "So, my apartment is currently being haunted by the spirit of a dead child and he's trying to kill me." This alone raised Adam's followers by a million more. Adam suffers from sleep paralysis, in which the sufferer suddenly wakes up and is unable to move or speak, but sees his or her dreams or even nightmares open-eyed and even hears the sounds. Adam wrote that one night he woke up in the condition of sleep paralysis to see that a young boy was sitting on a rocking chair that was near the foot of his bed. He said that the boy kept staring at him for a while, then slowly rose up and started walking towards him. Adam suddenly woke up screaming. Adam described the boy to be having a huge misshapen head that had a bizarre dent on one side. 3 nights later than the incident, Adam tweeted that he had a dream in which he was sitting in a library when a young girl approached him and said, "You've seen Dear David, haven't you?" Adam got to know that the boy's name was Dear David. The girl told him that he's dead and only appears in the midnight. You can ask him any 2 questions if you say Dear David first, but never ask him a third question or he'll kill you. With this, Adam suddenly woke up terrified. A few nights later, Adam had another frightening sleep paralysis experience with Dear David. When he woke up, he saw him sitting on the rocking chair again, watching him sleep. Adam decided to do what the little girl had told him and asked, "Dear David, how did you die?" To this, David replied, "An accident in a store." For the second question, Adam asked, "Dear David, what happened in the store?" David mumbled, "A shelf was pushed on my head." Adam had forgotten the 2-question rule and asked a third question, "Who pushed the shelf?" And this time, David didn't say anything. So, Adam repeated his questions and got no response. To this, Adam wrote that at this point he realized that he had broken the 2-question rule, then he suddenly woke up in a panic. A few minutes passed by and everything was normal. Adam googled to find about the death of any child named David or some other similar name, but unfortunately found nothing. By this, Adam moved to a larger apartment 1 floor above in the same building, and wrote that he had kind of forgotten about Dear David and maybe he lost track of him because he moved upstairs.
But lately, something strange is happening. Adam owned 2 cats and said that from last 4 nights, the cats gathered at the front door at exactly midnight and mewed as if something was at the other side of the door.
So, many months passed since his last encounter with Dear David. But then, Adam wrote that he had a terrible nightmare last night in which he saw that Dear David was dragging him by the arm through an old abandoned warehouse. Next morning, Adam noticed a strange bruise on his arm, but he did not pay much attention on these. Adam dismissed it by saying that maybe I injured myself the day before and my arm was hurting during the night, which manifested as a dream. After this, Adam wrote that he started getting calls with no caller ID, so he didn't pick them. But once, when he decided to pick it, he was soon regretting. Adam says that on the call, he heard someone breathing and a childish voice saying hello. He panicked and hung up without saying a word. After all this, Adam decided to go on a trip to Japan, and so he fixed cameras around the house to keep an eye on the cats. One night he saw that the cats seemed to be disturbed by something that wasn't there, but was trying to pick one of them. After that, Adam noticed that one of the kitties, named Maxwell, started swatting at something that just wasn't there, and it kept doing so for hours. Adam said that he kept seeing strange apparitions peeking into his house from the window of the apartment where he had previously been living. Then, when Adam Ellis returned from his trip, the strange activities in his apartment started again. The flashlights fused within a span of days. His TV's backlights started to randomly switch on and off on its own, even when power off. And his cats again started to gather at the front door as if something was there, though Adam couldn't see anything. And finally, he too started with his bizarre nightmares again. Finally, Adam decided to have a spiritual cleansing of his house to chase away the ghost of the dead child. After that, everything got to normal. No strange dreams, odd apparitions, or any other thing. But this didn't go for long. Soon, one night, Adam noticed that both of his cats were staring out of the kitchen window to the roof of the building nearby, where Adam noticed that someone was staring right back at them. And it didn't take long for him to realize that that person was dear David. He picked up his phone and started clicking pictures, but till he could steady his hand for a second picture, the ghost was gone. After this, one night, Adam tweeted that he had a dream and saw that dear David was sitting on a chair near his bed. Adam said that in his dream, he grabbed his phone and started to take pictures. And soon, he saw that dear David started to get closer to him, and soon, they were face to face. Adam wrote that David mumbled and rolled his eyes back to his head, and only the white was visible. Dear David started to crawl to Adam's bed, and he woke up in a sudden panic. And there was no one in the room, it had just been a dream. The most bizarre thing of all is that the pictures that Adam had taken in his dreams were actually on his phone. Despite some other nightmares, nothing strange was on for a week. Then, one day, he started hearing someone walking and running in the attic above him. After a lot of nights of hearing the disturbing loud bangs, Adam decided to investigate. Now, the only way to reach the attic was a hatch that was in the hallways and was impossible to be in reach without a long ladder. So, he decided to use a telescoping utility pole to see if some squirrel or any other animal might have gotten in somehow. But then, when he was pushing the hatch for it to open, something fell down the dark attic. He then realized that it was a small, old-fashioned leather shoe, seemingly that of a small kid. Adam texted his landlord to come and check the attic if an animal might have entered in. The landlord came over to check and found nothing else but a green marble. Then, for a week, Adam said that he had a lot of problem with sleeping and experienced more strange dreams, and whenever he woke up at night, he always had the feeling of someone's presence in his room. To see if someone had been in his room, Adam fixed a camera that was said to click a picture every minute. At first, when Adam checked the photos, nothing much was there as the camera had only captured hundreds of photos of him sleeping silently on the bed. But then, there he was. Dear David was finally visible, sitting and watching Adam as he sleeps. Then, in the next photo, David seems to be staring at the roof and then collapses and disappears. After a few more photos, David is again visible and this time right beside the bed, then on the bed staring at Adam, and finally he looks straight at the camera before vanishing into thin air. In the last photo, dear David is very close to the camera and only his head with a grizzled ear is visible. So then that's the story of Dear David so far. If you like my video, then don't forget the subscribe button and comment your reviews down below. See you in the next video. Thank you.